I believe you could be more balanced, but I'm guessing you've got too much worry in your life. I want to show you where worry comes from so that you can make a new choice and find that balance that you've always wanted. If you are a man watching this, you know that the women in your life worry a lot. If you are a woman watching this, you know you worry a lot. But what's happening? Why? Why so much worry? So let's talk about what it is that's creating all of this worry, because you literally could worry yourself right into a big ball of stress. And when you're stressed, you stress other people out. Now, let me first say though, what I love about women, women have an ability to literally be connected to so many things going on in their life. Where us guys, we're learning how to do that. We usually are one-track thinkers, and we have to disconnect from that track and go to another track, where you, as a woman, have this incredible ability to literally feel connected to all these things around you, which is beautiful. But let's talk about where worry could be coming from. Well, first off, you as a woman, you naturally are gifted with an abundant amount of love for people. You care. You care so much to help people you don't know. You care about the neighbors. You care about their neighbors and their neighbors. You care about people all over the world. And if something were to happen to somebody on the other side of the world, you would care about that. Like, you have a gigantic heart. Now, with that gigantic heart, what happens here is you actually not only are connected to the people around you, but you as a woman, you actually reach way out into the future to see where you're going, to see what could happen. Your ability to literally think that far ahead is both a gift and sometimes a curse. Let me explain. When you were a little girl and you were thinking about getting married, you already were planning your wedding day, what you're going to wear, what it's going to be like, and you're just this little tiny little girl. Us as guys, we don't think that far ahead about wedding days. We don't think that far ahead about these kinds of experiences. But as a little girl, you already were reaching out 15, 18 years ahead of you, already imagining that day, who your Prince Charming is going to be, what it's going to be like. And because you reach in your mind that far out to imagine things, as you have grown older and grown up in your years, that 15 to 20 years ahead thinking is still inside you. But now that you are older and you know more people and have more experiences, you do know of all the bad things that can happen in life. You know of all the challenges that can happen in life. So now as you are projecting forward by 15, 20 years, there's a lot of things that can happen. And so as you look at your current circumstances and project 15 years into the future and how it's going to turn out, you pretty much could take any situation and turn it into a catastrophe, which causes you to overreact about things. Not only because it's just what's happening right here, but you are actually amplifying this times 10. Like in 10 years from now, if this keeps going on, we're all ruined. We're all going to die. The family's going to all separate. And all that happened was the dishes didn't get done. But you take a current situation, and because your mind is wired around 10 and 20 years out in front of you, it multiplies the intensity of the current situation that is happening. Now, that's the bad side. That left unmanaged can put you in a very high state of worry, worrying about everything, worrying about if the kids left their shoes in the hallway or if their rooms are not clean. Because times 10 means those kids are terrible and they're going to turn out terrible and you're a terrible mom because it's times 10 or times 20. The good thing is about this if you were to turn this gift that you have of projecting out that far, a woman who has hope, a woman who has strong faith, or a woman who has a vision of her family can literally times that by 10 or times that by 20. So the very thing that's causing you worry can actually cause your wishes to come true. So you have this ability to times 10, times 20, whatever's going on, and it can turn into worry or it can turn into wishes coming true. Next one, you're very well connected to relationships. How a person feels, how a person thinks, how they're doing. And inside your mind, there's literally all these little lines and connections between all these people. And I know this from being a guy. I could be around a group of women who are talking, and those women actually don't have to say all the sentences they're thinking, but all the women pick up on what's going on because they're like neural networks are all like the World Wide Web. They can all connect by Wi-Fi through their heads. But you literally are all about relationships. Now, the worrisome part about this is being connected to other people, you also know their challenges. You also know their problems. And now not only do you have your own personal challenges and personal problems, but now you have theirs and theirs and theirs and theirs and theirs all inside your head. So those are 5 extra people. So what happens inside your head is your personal challenge amplified by 5 people now is 5 times as big. Because if you have the problem, you don't want all these other people to have the same problem because you love them. And so this creates an excessive amount of worry, and it can cause you to want to control people. You know, I've watched moms. You know, I do a lot of mentoring and a lot of training, so I'm around a lot of people throughout a year's worth of time. And I hear from moms who say, how can I not be so controlling of my kids? Well, the common answer is, and it gets down to the base root of what's going on, is the reason why you want to control them is so that they don't have the same problems you have. Because you have a challenge, and now you believe everybody else is susceptible to that same challenge. If you have a difficulty, you think everybody else is going to have the same difficulty. Because your mind is thought in group form, that whatever challenge you have, you actually deep down in your subconscious believe everybody's going to have the same problem. And so you almost in a way feel like you can't have problems. Because if you have a problem, everybody has the problem. And I can illustrate why this is so true. When a woman is thirsty, she will go into the kitchen and get a drink of water and then get a pitcher of water and walk around and give everybody else water. If she goes into the kitchen because she wants to get something to eat, she then will walk around the house offering the same thing to eat to everybody else. Because a woman's mind functions around, if I'm hungry, everybody's hungry. If I'm thirsty, everybody's thirsty. Because her mind is wired to the group. And that's why she wants to give water to everybody. That's why she wants to give everybody the treat. And if she's eating something, she wants somebody else to eat it too. And it's so interesting how this works, but it can create a lot of worry. Because if you're challenged, or if somebody in your group connections is challenged, your mind starts to assume that everybody's got the challenge. And now that creates extra worry. And there's nothing wrong with caring and loving people. It's when it becomes so excessive that it becomes literally a level of paralysis. Paralysis by analysis. You know, it's like you're overanalyzing everybody else's lives, what they're doing, what they're not doing, what they should be doing. And now you're thinking about what everybody else should be doing and when they should be doing this. And these are not even your kids. And it can create extra stress. It can create literal physical problems. High levels of stress can hurt your lungs, your heart, your kidneys, your liver, your lower back, your neck, your shoulder blade will have knots in it. your back will pay the biggest price. All that tension and tightness in your back comes from worry. You're worried about what happened. You're worried about what will happen. So what do? How do you make a change here? So here's something to consider. It's okay for people to learn. Instead of trying to make sure nobody gets hurt, you actually can debilitate people by not letting them have life experiences. So instead of trying to jump in and save every person from everything, I believe what needs to happen is you allow them to learn, not get hurt, but you could switch to being an inspiration instead of trying to control. You can teach. When you can see that something's going on, teach them. Don't go around and control them, because control will create stress and worry. Inspiring people creates hope and belief in people. The last one here is self-care to you must equal the amount of care you're giving other people. A overly worried woman is somebody who is not taking care of herself. You're spending all the time caring for others, and then you go to bed completely exhausted and burnt out. And when that happens, then you go to control, and then you go to stress, and then you go to trying to make sure everybody's doing everything perfect. The way you're going to find balance in your life is to allow people to learn from their experiences, but inspire them of things to watch for. Allow, inspire, and self-care. If you could add these three, some allowance, some inspiration, and more self-care for you and who you are, this big heart that you have is still going to be there. Your ability to project out here becomes more wholesome and supportive instead of stressed and worried. And then all your neural network connections to all of the people you know can be a place of you are giving support and love to them instead of trying to find out what's wrong and what you got to fix and what you got to control. It's a different come from, but to allow, inspire, and take care of yourself a little bit better. That's going to help reduce the worry. Women are fantastic, incredible people, and I admire and honor the gifts and talents you have. To be able to connect to people and to be able to project this far out and be able to have such a huge heart. What we really need today in this world is women who can be calm and balanced. But it's something we definitely have to work at, right? I just count myself as a woman that all of us can work at, men and women. But if you, as a woman, could turn this into a good thing, that you're projecting good, positive, hope-filled thoughts, you can change your family. You can change a whole organization of people with your belief for the future. Belief, not stress and worry. And you can be very, very in tune to people and know where to inspire instead of where to control. You are an inspirational person who's ready for a change, and I'm glad you watched this video because you are going to make a big difference in the world. To support you in moving forward, there's a link here below that I think you ought to click on. My wife teaches a live class here in Salt Lake City called Queen of the Kingdom. But she also has some additional programs that you can learn online and be able to learn those techniques and abilities to really open up who you are and really step into your hope, your faith, and your ability to be balanced in your life. My wife loves teaching women. So click on the link here below and enjoy what she has for you here. If you can't travel, check out her online courses. But if you can, get here to Salt Lake City, register and attend a class called Queen of the Kingdom. You will absolutely love it.